Want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Fight Camp. Taking care of my health isn't just about living longer, it's about living better for the people I love. And right now, you can get your first month free by using the link below or the code OSONE.
I can tell you in all the years that I was in the CIA, no matter who the president was, Benjamin Netanyahu, whether he was the Israeli ambassador to the United States, the Israeli ambassador to the United Nations, the minister of whatever, the prime minister, he would come and ask whoever happened to be the president, you got to invade Iran. You got to invade Iran. I'm begging you. You got to invade Iran. Iran, Iran, Iran. And every president would say, we're not going to invade Iran. Why? Until this one.
In a revealing interview with Joe Megatarian, former CIA officer John Kiriakou claims Jeffrey Epstein was far more than a financier. He was what intelligence agencies call an access agent for Israeli intelligence, recruited specifically to get close to the world's most powerful men. Kiriakou pulls back the curtain on how foreign lobbies like AIPAC shape U.S. policy, why Israel receives special treatment in Washington, and how even America's closest allies are deeply involved in espionage and covert influence.
Because AIPAC spends millions and millions of dollars, and they're donating to that campaign too. You know, Sheldon Adelson didn't just decide from the goodness of his heart that he just happened to love Donald Trump's personality, and he's going to give $120 million in 2016, which is what he gave, and then pay out of his own pocket for the American embassy to move from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. The embassy was always in Tel Aviv, right? Because Jerusalem was disputed territory. Mm-hmm. And so in 1993, Congress, under pressure from AIPAC, passed a law moving the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, but freezing the move until there was a formal peace treaty between the Israelis and the Palestinians. And so that's why, even though the law passed in 1993, the embassy never moved. And then Donald Trump said, screw the Palestinians. He closed the PLO office in Washington. He expelled all the Palestinian diplomats and then moved the embassy
to Jerusalem.
The embassy moved first, and then within the next 10 or 12 months, the Abraham Accords were signed. Yeah, right. You know, when I was in Bahrain, I served in Bahrain from 1994 to 1996. And this is immediately post-Oslo, like less than 12 months post-Oslo. Oslo was where Israel and the Palestinians came to an agreement.
Oslo Accords.
Right, the Oslo Accords.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, there's this flurry of, peacemaking. Clinton, correct. And so each one, 5 of the 6, not including Saudi Arabia, but Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Oman, and the United Arab Emirates, each decided to host a different component of peace talks. Mm-hmm. So in Bahrain, we hosted the Arab-Israeli peace talks on the environment, right? So these senior level Israeli political officials, diplomats, the Minister of Environment, the Israeli Deputy Foreign Minister, the Israeli Ambassador to the United States, they all came to the conference. In Oman, it was the peace talks on fish and wildlife or something like that. Everybody had a role to play.
Yeah.
Except the Saudis. Saudis wanted nothing to do with this. And we thought, okay, by 1996, this is crazy, but there's going to be peace in the Middle East. Until there wasn't. And then they started fighting again, and the Israelis started killing more people, and then everybody just pulled out, and that was the end of it. And then with the Abraham Accords, what the Israelis were successful in doing was splitting the Arabs, right? So the Tunisians open relations, the Emiratis open relations, the Bahrainis,
Saudis, not yet.
No way.
But
the Sudanese, the Moroccans, they all opened embassies in Jerusalem. Okay, so where does that leave the Palestinians?
Yeah.
If you can't rely on your Arab brothers, where most of your people are living and working anyway, who can you rely on? The last ones were the Saudis.
Yeah.
And now the Saudis until October 7th, the Saudis were engaged in talks with the... AIPAC should be the model. Listen, the AIPAC people, AIPAC's been around for a long time, since the 50s, but they really do it right. They know exactly how to raise money and how to organize politically. And their strategy is to take no prisoners. You're either with them or you're against them. There's no middle road. And they put their money where their mouths are. You know, they don't just send $250 to a congressional campaign.
I know.
They'll send $500,000 to a congressional campaign. And if you vote wrong on Israel, they will primary you. And the chances are they're going to beat you. And they're going to beat you with somebody who's pro-Israel and will vote exactly the way they want them to vote.
Kiriakou explains that lobbying groups like AIPAC have perfected the art of political influence, pouring millions into campaigns and ensuring that any politician who votes against their interests is quickly replaced. Unlike other ethnic lobbies, AIPAC isn't required to register as a foreign agent, giving it unique power in Washington. He details how foreign governments use access agents, like Epstein, to compromise and control key decision-makers, and points out that the CIA is well aware. Even friendly nations are constantly trying to steal America's secrets.
I'm on record as saying I took real shit from the former head of Mossad and from Alan Dershowitz and others who are, you know,
who was on the list
in the Israeli camp, who was on the list, but he kept his underwear on. 86-year-old man being massaged by a 16-year-old, but he kept his underwear on. So I went on the Piers Morgan show, and it was Danny Ayalon? He was the head of Mossad. He's an elderly man now, but Danny Yatom, thank you. Yatom. Yes. So it was Danny Yatom and Alan Dershowitz against Scott Horton and me. Scott is one of the most brilliant libertarian thinkers in America today. Scott, I ran into Scott on Wednesday. There he is.
Okay.
This guy, I'll tell you what, I've been on a bunch of shows with Scott, and I could just sit there like this and just enjoy listening to him speak. He's so smart and so well-read and so well-reasoned. I don't know how he keeps all the information in his head. Brilliant. He won a big award the other day from the Association of Independent Journalists. Anyway, Piers asked me if I thought Jeffrey Epstein was an Israeli Mossad agent. I said, absolutely, positively, yes. And General Yatom, he sat there like this the whole show. He just goes, oh. And then Dershowitz is like, I object to that. And constantly interrupting. It's not my nature to interrupt. Or if I do, I apologize for interrupting. Finally, Piers told him, will you just shut your mouth and let the man answer the question? So I said, look, the Israelis have always spied on the United States deeply. I said, on my very first day at the CIA, where all the new hires, we're sitting in the CIA auditorium called the Bubble, and we're getting briefed by like the head of insurance and the head of this and the head of that, and this is how you fill out your time card, and this is how you pick your health insurance, and the head of security came to brief us. And he said, the most important thing that we're going to need to consider is the issue of counterintelligence. There are enemies behind every bush, and they all want to know what we're working on and what we know about them. We have to protect ourselves. So he said, rule number one, there's a steakhouse right down the road. It's the nearest restaurant to the CIA's headquarters. Don't ever go in that restaurant. Why? Because the KGB thinks that we all eat at that restaurant. So any time of the day or night, everybody in that restaurant is a KGB agent waiting for the CIA guy to come in and who forgot to take his badge off, right?
Yeah.
Don't ever go in that restaurant. Secondly, he said, even our friends spy on us. He said, many of you will come into contact with the two Israeli intelligence officers who are based at the Israeli embassy in Washington. There's a representative from Mossad and a representative from Shin Bet. He said, the FBI has been able to identify 187 undeclared Israeli Mossad agents spread all across the United States, spying on our defense contractors to steal our defense secrets. Now, we give the Israelis 99% of what we have. They want to steal that last 1%. There's a famous story when we built the F-35. We said to them, look, we developed this new fighter jet. It's stealth. It's this. It's that. It's amazing. Everybody's going to get it. It's the F-35. They said, we want it. We said, great. We're going to give it to you. We're going to call it the F-35I for Israel. And we're going to just very slightly degrade the avionics. So God forbid, if it's shot down by the Iranians or the Syrians or the Russians and they get the avionics, they won't be able to duplicate it. They said, no. We want the F-35 with the avionics. We said, no. Okay, so they're trying to steal the avionics. At the same time, the UAE came to us and said, hey, we want that F-35. And we said, great, we're going to give it to you. We're going to call it the F-35E, E for Emirates. And we're going to slightly degrade the avionics. So God forbid, if the Iranians shoot it down, they can't get it and reverse engineer it. They said, fine, no problem. But the Israelis are here to steal. Israelis truly believe that they're alone in the world.
Really?
They truly believe it.
My wife and I recently committed to a full lifestyle shift. We're doing the 75-day hard challenge. And between parenting, business, and everyday chaos, Fight Camp became our anchor. It's an at-home boxing workout that actually keeps you motivated. Every punch is tracked, every round is gamified. It's not just fitness, it's a way to fight stress, stay accountable, and build the kind of health that lets you show up fully, before it's too late. And right now, you can get your first month free by using the link below or the code OSONE. Honestly, it's changed the way we approach each day.
As Kiriakou makes clear, the real battles for power aren't fought in the open. They're waged behind closed doors, through money, influence, and covert operations. Whether it's the hidden hand of foreign lobbies, the shadowy world of espionage, or the secrets still locked away in classified files, there's always more to the story than we're told.